I never got my lick in on her. Get on your fucking stomach on the bed, now. Get on the stomach or I'm going to start beating you again.
Get on your stomach.
Get on your stomach, I said. Get on your stomach.
Get on your stomach. Get on your goddamn stomach.
Get on your stomach.
Get on your stomach. That's it. You got it.
Beat you into submission. You want to put some more computer games on? You want some more?
Well, there it is. You do know white folks invented, the whoopings, because that's where we got it from. We got it from y'all.
Wow.
And there it is, perfected.
Man, do you just see how the generational shit just gets passed down? This is violence. Let's just be real. Listen, I'm an advocate for whooping, right?
Yeah.
But let me just say this: if you still whooping by 16,
yeah, you done something. Yeah,
it's off. This shit is off.
No.
And then you can see the bullshit programming in that family.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat you into submission. Right? That's religion.
16?
That's Jesus. That's religion. That's the Bible. Right? People misconstrue what it actually means. Discipline, like for instance, if you see little young kids in China learning Kung Fu, the Sifu or the master may swat them with a bamboo stick.
Absolutely.
But it's only to correct them. It's not belligerent violence. I'm trying to beat the shit out of you. Nope, that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
No, your foot's supposed to be inside, not outside. Whack up.
Mm-hmm.
So then the next time they do it, they understand, oh, the foot is supposed to be inside, not outside. There's a difference.
Yeah, but that's controlled punishment as opposed to over the top. An issue I want to bring up for the two of you. You are two of the most articulate people I know. What about people who don't know how to use their words to discipline?
You just saw the video of that right now.
No. But you guys have a vocabulary that's clear. When you talk, you're very specific and you're declarative.
Yes.
There are a lot of people, they don't have the words, and so they resort to
I can tell you about a man like that. His name was Willie Howard Cottle. He was my grandfather.
Willie Howard Cottle.
Willie Howard. I'm going to try to talk about him without crying.
I can show you better than I can tell you.
That's a man. That's a man. A man's man. Kind of man cut his thumb off at work and put it in his lunchbox, take it home. His wife sew it on. He'd be back next day. That dude.
It's going to be dead, but it'll be sold back on.
It'll be sold back on. He can hold shit with it. My grandfather only had a 8th, 9th grade education from the 40s. But this dude was crystal clear in what it took to get on the wrong side of him. It's what has been lost is where a spanking has its place. It's like fire. Fire has a place, okay? And it's not everywhere. Fire everywhere is a firestorm. No, that is horrible. I know kids that grew up in that. That's not what
they can't wait to kill their parents.
They can't wait to kill them.
That's they're going to find a way out of there. Okay. Or they can't wait to escape.
At some point on their day planner, wash car, clean garage, kill mama now.
Kill mama now.
Kill mama now. Okay? I'm not saying that. You guys are giving spankings a black eye.
Yeah.
You really are. They have a place. And I've seen it work. I've seen it when it's applied correctly. I've seen it work.
Right.
Remember, I think it was last week or the week before, one of the toolbox tips, I said 3 strikes and you're in. Remember I said, when you're all heated up about something, think about the first thing you want to do. Don't do it. Take a deep breath.
Right.
And that's all about kind of defending yourself in the moment or whatever. Then strike 2 is take a deep breath, think about what you want to do. Don't do that, because that's about retaliating. So what we're seeing here is retaliation. And the key is get to step 3, take a deep breath. What is it you want to do? And that's more about a solution. So we don't see solutions here. What we see is knee-jerk reactions from reptilian brain. We're not
at the frontal lobe.
The prefrontal cortex is nowhere to be found.
No.
And what you're seeing is, exactly what Jeff was saying is when that reptile snaps at that kid's going to come looking for that grown reptile.
Exactly. Ishmael, you're on the line. You want to talk to us about ass whoopings. Did you get them?
Yes.
Do you give them out? And do they work? Go deeper.
Well, my philosophy on it is that from 0 to 7, I'm really trying to play with my kids more than anything, teaching them. But in playing, you're teaching them rules. So they're getting rules. But then from 7 to 14, the discipline normally comes in, where there are consequences for you breaking the rules. Not necessarily have to be a spanking, but it could come to that. And then from 14 to 21, I try to be more of their ally, where I'm working with them, and I'm trying to teach them from everything that they've learned.
That's good stuff.
That is great information.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
That's good stuff.
That's something I agree with too.
I had to stretch them spankings back a little further though.
Yeah, and it's going to vary.
About
some
18 months.
Kids, you may have to start at 6 years old, or you may have to start at 8 or 6. They may go to 16.
What do you think, the caller? Ishmael? What do you think is the optimum age to start whooping that ass? Tanning time.
Like I say, from 7 to 14, and like I say, even if you've done it, if you're in your child's life, even if you do have to whoop, like my son, I say, man, when I first gave him a whooping, I said, all right, man, I told you too many times, I'm going to whoop your tail. So he's scared. I said, get over there, bend over, I'm going to whoop you. So I pull out something. I said, haven't I told you about doing this? And he looks at me, and I got a peacock feather in my hand. But I'm talking to him as if I'm whooping him hard. And he understood that, man. This is, I need to straighten up. He's giving me a chance.
That sounds like some Showtime soft porn.
Thanks for the call, Ish. I appreciate it.
I'm a little different. I started 18 months. Right? If I go, and you can go, I'm not going to do this. And then right after you hear that, you go to start. Oh, you're going to get a tanning right there.
Yeah, I got little boy. I got boys.
7? I got boys, dude.
Yeah.
You going to start whooping a boy at 7?
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You remember the baby when you say, especially the boy energy.
Yeah.
You go, hey. He recognizes your tone. He recognizes dad energy over mom energy, right? So when my son was young, he mimicked everything I did. So I'm watching him, right? I'm watching him, and he's doing certain things that he ain't supposed to do. I go, hey. Oh, that's a different kind of energy.
No.
No was always, no. He stopped. With the mother, I noticed he continues.
Yeah.
He'll stop for a second, but then he'll look around. And then he doesn't see me, and he'll continue. And then I say, Yeah. And then he stops. So there's an energy there, I think, from the father that kind of reinforces the mother. And if you don't have the backup, it might, fall through the cracks somewhere.
Here's mama's job. This way your mama's job's supposed to go. Baby, now I know I told you should have done what I said, so I didn't have to tell your father. Okay, your daddy a little crazy. Now, here's a little potato. Put that on your eye. Here's some cookies.
What?
Do what your daddy say do. That's her energy supposed to be.
Right.
By the time it get to daddy.
What do you have? What do you have?
Okay. Because the doctor has expressed the desire to get to know us better and explain things and be able to deal with us better.
He wants to understand us better.
This is the Jeff Brown ghetto
This is for
word
you.
of the day. Those of you who can see it probably know what it is already.
I know what it is.
You know what it is. We're going to give the doctor a stab at it. Lukeeds. What does that say?
Just read it, Doc.
Just read it.
Luckies.
Okay, very close, but the U is long.
Lukeeds.
Lukeeds. Now I want you to think, and when we come back to break, I want you to try to use it in a sentence. I'll use it in a sentence.
When we come back,
we're going to show how ignorant this white guy is.
Team Radio B, Radio and TV, the ZWMS Morning Show is on fire. We talking about whooping kids' ass. We'll be back with the special ghetto word of the day for Dr. Goldston. Holla!
Yes. Over there now.
Now that's hard to watch because that's just abuse.
Motherfucker is what he said.
Yeah,
Video
swear
cord.
words. And honestly, you can tell it's abuse because he's only using one hand. That's not a fair cardio workout. Switch hands.
Listen, today's topic Is sparing the rod really spoiling the child? A deep look into corporal punishment at the crib. Is it domestic violence? Or is it necessary for setting kids on the right path? I don't know. 855-878-4652. We have another doctor specialist on the line right now.
Doctor. Not yet.
Oh, not yet. Sorry.
And we have the Jeff Brown rule.
So we got another caller on the line for sure. Let's bring in another caller and get their opinion on the ass beats. Talk to me. Did you get your ass beat?
Ass beats.
And did it help you any? Caller?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Who is this?
Good. My name is Jessica, and I'm actually a behavior specialist. I work in New York City as a behavior analyst with children who have extreme behaviors to the point that they cannot be in New York City public schools.
Wow.
And I have done some pretty extensive research on child behavior, and I just, was hoping to call in and share something from, a little bit more of a research and psychological perspective.
Please go deeper
into this discussion. So, one of the things I can tell you the most is I see a lot of things. I see a lot of kids misbehaving, a lot of, unnecessary things going on. And my gut reaction is sometimes just, that child just needs a good slap. But the truth is that, psychology doesn't really back that up. I am a Christian, and, I've read in Proverbs to spare the child, spare the rod, spoil the child. And I think what it really comes down to is whether or not you're looking for a long-term or a short-term perspective.
Tired of hearing
So
from
for
ugly
sure,
doctors.
From a short-term perspective, if you want to get immediate compliance, corporal punishment works. Corporal punishment will actually get an immediate compliance. But there are actually 10 behaviors that have been identified as kind of, if you want to say, simply, that go with that. Or, inadvertent treatment effects is what we call them in psychology. So a lot of those things are like guilt, aggression, antisocial behaviors, and really a lot of hatred and resentment towards parents that can actually go all the way to later in life. So from a behavioral perspective, when we think about punishment, it doesn't really work in the long term. Now, not every child is necessarily going to exhibit those behaviors, but the American Psychological Association did do a study in 2002, was a meta-analysis of a ton of research, years of research, and what they were able to really put is, you know what, if you punish your child physically, corporal punishment, it might get to you what you want, but in the long run, it's not actually good for your kid.
Wow, that's interesting.
Well,
That's interesting.
So what are some solutions? Thank you for the input, and but what are some of the alternatives?
You know what, I'm so glad that you asked that question, because that's a lot of things that people ask. We have something called reinforcement, and I'm a behavioral psychologist. We use reinforcement. Ethically, reinforcement must always be used before punishment. Now, here's the difference between reinforcement and punishment. In punishment, you're looking at decreasing a behavior. But in reinforcement, you're looking at increasing a behavior. So that might not make sense, right? You might tell me, well, why would I want to increase the behavior if my child is acting out? Well, the truth is that whatever your child is acting out, they're trying to do something, trying to accomplish something. If they're crying because they want to get what they want, well, rather than punishing the crying behavior, what you do want to do is reinforce, or you want to promote a more appropriate way to get what they want.
Interesting.
So, let's say you have a toddler who's sitting at the bottom of your refrigerator and crying because they want a cookie. Well, what you want to really do is you don't want to punish them for crying. You want to teach them the right way to ask for it. Maybe it's, having them, you want to give them that cookie contingent upon making their bed or doing the dishes or helping you set the table.
You got a
eating all
toddler
that
making
food
the
after
bed?
dinner.
But Jennifer, let me ask you this question. If you're whooping a kid, say you start off at Jeff Brown's preliminary age, Jessica, sorry. Say you start off at Jeff Brown's age, which is 18 months.
18 months.
If you're whooping a kid from 18 months to 16 years, if you've been whooping a kid for 15 years, wouldn't the fact that you still got to whoop that kid tell you that whooping him is not working?
It's not working.
Absolutely.
And then the other problem is that only works until a child is big enough to be able to fight back.
Uh-oh.
And then once you do that, you've lost all control, you've lost all respect, and there's nothing that you can do to get
That depends on your skills.
No, but she's right because some mothers have to, especially single mothers, African American specifically, particularly, have to keep raising the whooping ante for the young boys that
Because
they're
they never
raising.
shouldn't have been done in the first place.
Right. Because at some point, if there's no philosophy backing the ass whooping, like if there's no, real ideological understanding for this child, like, okay, I understand why I'm being whooped. The mother isn't whooping me out of frustration, anger, because she mad at my daddy or mad that her boyfriend quit her.
That I can see, obviously.
Right. All of that stuff is not present. Dude, at the end of the day, a kid can get his ass beat so much that the woman has to now say, "Oh, I gotta
hit him with the car.
I gotta hit him with something else in order to
I got
get."
another question for you. What happens when your kid that you hit, when he goes to school and he hit another kid because he doesn't like what that kid did to him? Because what happens is what you're teaching your child when you're hitting your child is if someone does something that you don't like, it is okay to put your hand on that person. Right?
Jessica, would you like that question answered?